friends and welcome to IT Dolphin. My name is Kazi and I have been working in the application industry for more than 10 years. Today I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic that is related to fraud. You heard it right. I'm going to talk about how we can use ERP to prevent fraud. As I've been implementing ERP in many companies, and with the implementation of ERP, the expectation from the ERP is that it's going to prevent fraud, and it's going to help the organization to detect fraud, and most probably, and the expectation is that due to the controls that we are bringing with the ERP, there will be no fraud in the company, and people will not be able to steal money from the company. Usually this is not the case. And recently there has been in my career a few scenarios where a company which was using an ERP for more than maybe 7 to 8 years, and people were able to make fraud. And this is why this is happening is because if the initiator of the transaction and the approver of the transaction and the people who are involved in the approval and monitoring process in one company and in one subsidiary, you can say, are ganged, are all on the same page, are making some wrong misinterpretation of information, then ERP cannot do anything about it. ERP cannot go and check the intention of the people. So the internal audit team or the audit team who's there, who's monitoring the ERP transactions, who's monitoring the reports that are coming out from the ERP, are helpless and are not able to do anything about it. So recently I was in one conference, and there I heard few amazing concepts that we can implement in ERP to detect frauds. These concepts are new, and still work needs to be done in order to bring them on reality. But in this video and in this presentation that we're gonna start, we're gonna talk about these concepts and these areas which we can add in an ERP to help an organization detect frauds. So stay tuned. How we can use an ERP to detect fraud, and this is through a concept called anomaly detection. So let's dig down to our case study. At the end of the presentation, I'm gonna solve this case study for you. What is the case study? There is a door manufacturing company which has misrepresented its information, its profit figures in the financial reports, which was submitted to the stock exchange. And after submission, later we found out that there was a misrepresentation of the information. The company lost its reputation, and the employees in the company lost their jobs. The company was using an ERP for a very long time, but the Oracle ERP didn't help here. So how we can do that? How we can detect this or similar events and prevent it from happening in the future? So according to the fraud detection organization in America, there are 20 ways you can detect frauds, which includes unusual behavior, complaint, stale items in reconciliation, excess voids, missing documents, excessive credit memos, increased reconciliation items, or the general ledger is out of balance, and so on and so forth. So how technology can help in that? The technology can help using anomaly detection. So going to the definition of anomaly detection, it's a data mining tool which identifies rare items and events and observations which are suspicious by differentiating it from the majority of the data. The majority of the data is going in a single pattern, and whereas this anomaly detection helps detect those suspicious transactions which are different from the regular pattern. So anomaly detection can be used in various kind of problems. Our focus is towards fraud. Also, the anomaly detection can be used for security threats, a device failure, maybe if there is a unseen customer behavior that is coming from the customer side, from the CRM. There is a medical problem, it can help detect medical problems, or there are errors in the text. So all of these areas where anomaly detection can be used. The anomaly detection has to be real time, else there is no use of it. If, for example, the fraud has happened, afterwards you get to know about it, it's good, but if the anomaly detection is real time, it really makes a big difference. So if it is real time, you can view suspicious events as it happens, and once the suspicious event will happen, an alert will go to the business unit and the customer, and the audit team can monitor these transactions and at real time, and they can use their due intelligence to do detections and frauds. So in order to build such a model, there are three development stages required. First, you need to build a statistical detection model. This is a model based on the statistics that you have gathered from your business and from the ERP. You can build this model. For example, this can be that in the month of March there are more projects awarded, or in the month of April more payments are made, or maybe every month there are like 100 orders that are made in the company. Some kind of patterns that are there in the company that you can use and build this model. The second stage of development will be to inject data from the ERP and input it into the detection model. So first you have, based on the statistics that you have gathered from the business and an ERP, you will be able to set the threshold for each transaction and the regular patterns that is required for any transaction or for any business. And then you have to build a model or an engine where you should collect the data from the business and input it into the detection model. And the third stage will be building an application to visualize the output. Definitely, once you should be able to view the output of the detections and the suspicious transactions that are happening, and this application will help you visualize the output and see in terms of graphs and reports what are the suspicious transactions that are happening in the business. I will not go into much details, but to summarize it in a very short format, the terminology or the algorithm that is commonly used for these kind of transactions or to detect the patterns and to detect the suspicious transactions is called K-means. McQueen's in 1967, she was the one who has introduced this model, and it is a very common algorithm to solve the well-known clustering problem. This means that, for example, as you can see, before K-means, there are few dots of data set. And after we apply this algorithm, these data sets are clustered into various groups, and from these groups we will be able to identify that what are the suspicious transactions. For example, every month we are paying our employees, for example, let's say $1 million as the salary, and this is happening like on an average from the last 5 years, and in the end of the year we are giving them bonus. So this can be represented in another cluster, or in the month of June or July we are paying them the paid vacation salary. So this can be also clustered as one data set. So for example, in these data set that are coming, one of the transactions stand out. For example, we see that the bonus was given in the month of July, although the bonus are given in the month of December. So this will be identified as a suspicious transaction, and then the alert will be thrown to the organization and whoever is responsible for it, and then they will do their investigation, that what was the reason that why the bonus was made in the month of July. Okay, so solving our case that if we implement these kind of solutions as I have elaborated before. So let me try to introduce this graph. This graph is all about these. On the left hand side, you can see the months, like from 0 to 14 months. These are the months in the year. Okay, and on the y-axis you can see and this is the amount in terms of billions or millions. Okay, in terms of millions, this is the amount. So as we can see in one particular, this graph is plotted for one particular account. Let's say it's the cost account or the material cost account. So we can see here that the material cost account usually in every month the amount of transaction happening. The amount of value that is going to this account remains in between 1 to 1.5, but only in the month of the 6th month and the 7th month there was a difference. There was a huge volume of money that was flown into this account, maybe debited or credited. So from there you can really see that the anomaly detection program will cluster these two transactions, these 2 months, into one cluster, and will alert the internal audit or the accountant that there is some suspicious transaction which has happened here, and then the team can further investigate. Maybe it's an error, a typing error, or maybe it's something which a fraud has happened. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will be updating you of more interesting videos related to ERPs and related to information technology. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel and stay tuned.